ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to a short demonstration of the Kennel Club's Good Citizen Dog Scheme. The Good Citizen Dog Scheme is the largest dog training programme in the UK. With over 650,000 dogs having passed through the scheme via 1,800 different dog training organisations. We're going to show you a few of those exercises from the scheme this morning, and we're going to start by taking you right back to the beginning, to teaching basic life skills to puppies and young dogs through our Puppy Foundation Assessment and Bronze Level Awards, and then building on those skills through our Silver and Gold levels. It's important to choose the right puppy for you, one that fits your lifestyle, and it's important to choose the right breeder, one that breeds for good health and sound temperament and gives the puppy all the right early experiences early on in its life to set it up to learn and develop in its new home. Having been exposed to a variety of things in the litter, these puppies and young dogs are gently and gradually being exposed to all sorts of other things they might come across in everyday life. And this gradual exposure will help them to cope. So they're being introduced to adults of all shapes and sizes, to dogs of all different breeds, and to sudden and strange noises. You can see Mandy rattling a bunch of keys just to get the dogs used to that sound being in the background, but not too loud to startle them. You'll notice that all the young puppies and dogs are playing with their owners with a toy. This is a great way to begin to develop the relationship between owner and dog. And that toy can then be used to encourage the dog to go to the owner with a game with the toy as a reward, or as a reward for training and doing something well in training. So here our puppies are being taught how to walk on a nice loose lead and over a variety of surfaces. This prepares them for when they go outside and all those different feelings underneath their feet, which can be a little bit strange if they've not been exposed to it correctly. And we aim to build up the distractions and the different environments so that the dog can then walk by the side of the handler on a loose lead anywhere, no matter what the distractions are around it. So over here, we've got our handlers demonstrating how they can handle their dogs. So we start with the puppy level, teaching puppies to accept being handled, towel-dried, moving it on through grooming and inspection. And the aim is that our dogs will accept being examined by everybody. So here, we've got our lovely St. Bernard Gatsby. He's being examined by the vet. Look how beautifully he's standing for that examination. It just helps the owners to ensure that the dog stays nice and healthy. And if all dogs were like that when they went to the vets, wouldn't the vets be pleased with everybody? So teaching puppies to come back is a really essential skill if they're away from you and off the lead, because it keeps them safe and it stops them from being a nuisance to others. So we start very short distances with puppies, we keep them on the lead, we set them up to succeed, and we build it up through the levels of the scheme till we get to our gold level dogs over here, where they're doing recalls off the lead, but not actually putting the lead back on when the dog rejoins the handler. The dog's just going to continue walking beside the handler's left leg. So just imagine you're out in the park and you see something you don't like the look of up ahead, your dog's away from you and off lead, and you might think, oh, I'm just going to call my dog back and have him under my better control just to make sure that he's not going to come to any harm. Call your dog back in, he walks alongside you till that potential danger has gone by, and then you can let the dog off again to do his own thing. Over here, we're looking at different positions and building them up into a stay exercise. So it can be a real challenge, can't it, to get a puppy or a young dog to stay still for any length of time. But through the Puppy Foundation assessment and bronze levels, we build that up so that our dogs are steady when we open the front door, or we open the car door, or we're waiting at the curb to cross the road. And we can build that steadiness into an actual stay exercise, and our gold dogs here are being placed in a stay position with the handlers distancing themselves across the ring. For the gold, it's 10 paces away, and at some point the handler will also go out of sight. Obviously, this is an exercise that you would only do in a safe environment and where the dogs are being fully supervised. You notice that one of our dogs here is being crate trained, and accepting going into a crate, it can be really useful for a variety of situations. And one of those situations where a crate really comes into its own is when we're travelling in a car with our dogs, because not only does it keep the dog still and safe in the back of our car, but it stops the dog being a potential nuisance to the driver when we're trying to drive. So let's see what happens then if our dog isn't restrained when we travel in the car with it. Oh, nasty bump, and that unrestrained dog turned into a missile which went straight through the windscreen of the car, and the dog is now lying injured in the road. And worse still, it could become a potential danger to other road users, and that'll be a hefty insurance bill. So let's see if we do it, what happens if we do it the Good Citizen Dog Scheme way, with the dogs restrained in the back of the car there. Two crashes in less minutes than that, and they said lady drivers were bad. So these dogs in the back there are uninjured. They're a little bit shaken up by the sudden bang and the loud noise, but they're uninjured, and they're not causing a problem to anybody else either. So the Good Citizen Dog Scheme can really help in emergency situations like this, as well as it can help in just normal everyday life situations. We're going to look at one of the exercises that features throughout the scheme now, and that's food manners. So we teach puppies to take tidbits from our hands nice and gently without removing our fingers as well. And we build that up so that in the silver level, we look at dogs having good manners when we're eating our meals. So the dogs shouldn't be begging for morsels off our plates. They should go and be able to settle in their bed, and we'll be able to look at that exercise a little bit later on. In the gold level, we're looking for the dogs to wait for permission to eat their dinner from their food bowl, just to keep that manners running through that thing. We also teach our dogs to accept us occasionally taking something off them. Imagine you're out walking in the street and your dog picks up a chicken bone from last night's discarded takeaway. You might need to get that bone off the dog very, very quickly just to make sure the dog comes to no harm. So you can see there's two raceways placed out, and I can tell you there are some really exciting and tasty things in those food bowls. They have actually got real dog food in, so the dogs can be well and truly tempted by them. We're going to run this as a relay race. So we've got two teams against each other, and I know from the team leader, Jen, that these dogs move much, much quicker if you shout for them and cheer for them. So if you're on this side of the arena, please shout and cheer for this team. If you're on this side, you cheer and shout for that team. And those of you on the back, perhaps split yourselves in two. Handlers, are you ready? Steady, go! Oh, so two very quick dogs there. It's neck and neck at the moment, both teams neck and neck. So we've got the greyhound, that should be fast, and we've got Shirley the border collie. And Shirley's got there first. Remember, it's a relay, guys, so your helpers have got to let the dogs go. And that's the Labrador, so the team on my right well and truly in the lead at the moment. And that's Kiri the border collie just joining her owner. Okay, we've got Chloe the Labrador. She might be well and truly tempted by the food bowl, typical Labrador. So we've now got this team on my left going into the lead with little Mabel, the Jack Russell Terrier, doing a great job. So we've got another Labrador on this team. I don't think these teams have been evenly matched at all. Look at... See, poor old Bodie hasn't yet got his gold Good Citizen Dog scheme. He doesn't know that he's got to ask permission from Brian, his owner, before he eats from all the food bowls. Now, Bodie is a little bit on the porky side, and you can see why now. He's been practicing for this display for the last few weeks. Give them a round of applause anyway. They're really good sports, aren't they? Fancy setting their dogs up to fail like that. It's terrible, isn't it? You really shouldn't do that in training. So we're now going to, that was sort of looking at what they might do with food that's dropped purposely, but what about when they're out in the street? So we're going to set up a park scene for you and a public highway. We've got the obligatory litter out, that's Mandy. We'll be seeing her later. She's always chucking rubbish around. She's terrible. She'll be playing football next. Biggest users of our parks and public spaces are owners with dogs and families with children. We want both of those groups of people to be able to interact safely within our parks and not cause a nuisance to each other. We don't want our dogs being banned from parks and public spaces because we don't control them well enough. So all these dogs are Good Citizen dogs. They should be well under control, whether they're on the lead or they're off the lead. It shouldn't matter what distractions are going on around them, other dogs, other people, ball games, the fishing, the picnic, everything that's going on in this park today. And the group at the top here are crossing the road. Oh, what's happened? What's all the noise? Oh, that park attendant, he's always in such a bad mood. But luckily, Harry's got a poo bag and he's able to clear up after Rosie. He's avoided the fine. Well done, Harry. Phew, thank goodness he's gone through the Good Citizen Dog scheme. So up here, across our road, you can see that the dogs are all on the lead here, as is required on a public highway. And they're on nice short leads. They're under control. They'll wait at the curb until the coast is clear. And we've got June, our lollipop lady, just making sure that that traffic remains stationary. So isn't it lovely to see all those dogs and handlers just enjoying that public space with no problem whatsoever? So we're just leaving the park now, leaving it nice and tidy. The litter's been cleaned up, Mandy's been remonstrated with. And we're now going to move on to the centre bed exercise. So this is an exercise that features in the gold level of the Good Citizen Dog scheme. And it's not about sending your dog to bed as a punishment. It's about telling your dog to go and settle down to enable you, the owner, to do something more pressing. So again, we're going to do this as a little bit of a race, and these dogs run much, much better if you shout for them and you cheer and you stamp your feet and clap your hands. So we've got the little Yorkie at one end, we've got the Retriever at the other end, and we've got the Border Collie in the middle. Handlers, are you ready? Send your dogs to bed. My money's on the Border Collie. I think she's going to be fast. Oh, yes, I was right. So the other two dogs went to their beds, but were a little bit slow in the settling down on it. So now we've got the Vizsla Isla, we've got Zach at the far end, the German Shepherd. We've got Jade, the Border Collie, on this side. Handlers, ready, steady, send your dogs to bed. Oh, well, I don't know about that, because Isla's only got her bottom on the bed, really, hasn't she? And Jade didn't have much more of herself on the bed, but they did do better than Zach at the other end. So now we've got Campbell, the Springer Spaniel, Holly, the Labrador, and we've got another Labrador right at the end there. Are you ready? Send your dogs to bed. Oh, wrong bed, Holly, wrong bed. Good girl. Campbell, beautifully in his bed, no matter that there was a young lady coming running at him. Fabulous. Okay, big round of applause for Campbell. I think he did really well on that one. Oh, okay, we've got another couple of dogs. I think those owners need a little bit of advice, though, on their purchasing of beds at Crufts this year. I think perhaps they need to go shopping. Poor old Gatsby's got a little bit of bed there. And we've got Dougal with a lovely comfy bed. So my money's on Dougal this time. Handlers, ready, steady, send your dogs to bed. Go on, Dougal, don't let me down. Oh, Dougal, you... Dear. Nearly. Who's it going to be? Yes, it's Dougal. But only just beating Gatsby. So the winner of that is Dougal. Give them a big round of applause. That's fantastic. And we do that, there's a little bit of fun, but it's lovely to see. So we're going to look at something really special now. We're going to link two exercises together. And that's the Stop the Dog and the Rejoin Handler. And the Stop the Dog, imagine that's an emergency situation. Your dog is away from you, off lead, you've just called it back, but then a cyclist is cycling across its path and you think, heck, they're going to collide. If you can give your dog a command to stop, you might just have saved a nasty accident. So we've got Becky and Jackie walking across the ring, leaving their dogs in that beautiful controlled position. That doesn't often happen in the park, does it, that we leave our dogs in a controlled position? They're going to aim to stop their dogs on the flag in the middle. Perfect. That was absolutely perfect. And Shirley was nearly perfect, but she moves so quickly that she's really intending to stop, but just doesn't quite manage it. So we're going to look at the Rejoin Handler now, and the most important thing is that all the owners get their lovely dogs back. So let's have a look at this exercise. Handlers, command your dogs, and then as quick as you can, over to the other side of the ring. Nice and smart, trust your dogs. If they break the stay, it doesn't matter, that's not the important bit. Turn around and call. Wow, doesn't that look fantastic? All those dogs running across the ring, not causing each other a problem whatsoever. Okay, handlers, let's do that again. This time we'll set them up from the down position. It might just make some of them a little bit more stable. Okay, handlers, command your dogs. And off you go, across the ring, nice and smartly. Turn around when you get there, and call. And a big reward for your dogs when they get there. So Jade's finally got there. Gatsby wanted to leave everybody to it and then join in afterwards. Big round of applause, fantastic. I think they have all got their own dogs, so that's brilliant. So that exercise can really help to keep dogs safe. If you've liked what you've seen this morning, then please go and see the folks on the stand in Hall 3A. Or visit the Kennel Club's website, www.goodcitizendogscheme.org.uk. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, all that remains is for our team to go through their closing sequence. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kennel Club's Good Citizen Dog Scheme.